Okay, so as Sally said, for those of you I haven't met yet, my name is Wei Ching, and we're going to be talking a little bit about science, and then I'm going to test your animal science knowledge. Okay, so I'm going to be asking you lots and lots of questions today. So what do we do when we have an answer to a question?
Put your hand up.
Excellent. So I'm going to get you to put your hand up. I am so sorry, I don't know all of your names, but I'm going to try and vaguely point to you if I want your answer to be said out loud. Hands up. What do we think a scientist is? Let's start with, what do we think scientists look like? What do you think scientists wear? Yes, in the black. No, that's all right. I'll come back to you. Yeah, in front with the braid. Yep.
Lab coats and spectacles.
Yeah, goggles. Yes, lab coats. A long time ago, people thought that this is what scientists look like. So, you know, older men, grey hair, grey frizzy hair, white lab coats, usually blowing stuff up in the lab sometimes. But you know what? Nowadays, scientists, they all started out exactly like you. So we have some scientists up here. These guys study animal science up at the Roseworthy campus of the Adelaide Uni, and they're all studying to become vets. So if you're interested in becoming a vet, you can go and study animal science. These guys in the bottom corner, they study mechanical and sports engineering. So when you study this, you can learn how to make equipment or sportswear to help athletes perform better. So that's pretty cool too. And then there's me. So that's me in New Zealand. We went skiing a couple years ago. I love to ski. Whenever I get the chance, I go. And also in my spare time when I'm not doing science, I also like photography. So I love to go down to the beach with my camera and take photos at sunset. All right, so how did I get to where I am now? My family moved here from Malaysia just before I started primary school. So I went to Westlake Shore Primary. And while I was there, I was into gymnastics. I used to swim every week. I was in the choir, also learning to play the piano. And when I was a kid, I loved to draw. So I thought when I was going to be an adult that I was going to become a cartoonist and draw cartoons for the rest of my life. But back then, I also used to love puzzles. So basically anything I didn't know, I'd love to go and look up. I then went to Adelaide High. I did a lot of the same things at Adelaide High, still into swimming. I learned to play a couple more instruments. I loved learning languages, which I was very fortunate to learn. In high school, I hated exams. I really struggled with tests. So exams like a really big test. And you know what, just to get over those hurdles, I had to study just that little bit harder for exams. But then I came to uni, so this uni actually, so the University of Adelaide, I did what's called a science degree. During my science degree, I learned about human genes, so genetics, and also how the human body works, or human physiology. I then did what's called an honours degree. So this is when you get your own research project, you get your own lab, you go in and you do your own experiments for a year, and then you present them to other people in your area. And as Sally mentioned, I then went on to do what's called a PhD. So it's pretty much like a really big honours degree. It's about 3-4 years long. And at the end, when you graduate, you become a doctor. So people can call you Dr. Wei Ching or Dr. Sally at the end. Okay, but enough about me. Sally said that this lecture is going to involve you guys. Now, the next bit we're going to do in this lecture involves those ethograms that were handed out to you on the way in. So we're going to find out what kind of Australian animal you're most like. So if you have a look at the ethogram, so has everyone got them on their tables already? Excellent. So I want you to fill out an ethogram of yourself and what you would normally do on a typical Saturday. So we're going to find out if you're like, what's this animal? I think we all know what this one is. Yes, a koala, excellent. And this one, yes, emu. And this one, yes, kangaroo, excellent. And I don't think we've seen this one at the zoo, so who knows this one? Yeah, in the yellow. bold. Oh, you're close, not quite. Yeah, right at the back. Yeah, so this is a wedge-tailed eagle. So not quite a bald eagle, but a wedge-tailed eagle. All right, so what I'm going to get you to do, have a look at your ethograms. Each slot on your ethogram means 30 minutes of that day, and your ethogram starts at midnight on Friday and goes to midnight on Saturday. So if you're sleeping normally at midnight on Friday, you can put sleeping. I think I put the little key on the right-hand side for the word sleeping. So I'll give you maybe 10 minutes to fill that out, and then we'll go through your answers. Now, from your ethograms, we're going to find out what kind of Australian animal you're most like. Okay, let's start with sleeping. Okay, so how many hours a day do you normally sleep? If it's under 6 hours, put your hand up. So on that page, if you had under 6 hours of sleeping between 12 midnight on Friday and midnight on Saturday, put your hands up if it was under 6. Under 6. Oh, wow, we've got a couple. Okay, what about, put your hand up if it was between 6 and 8 hours. 6 and 8, yeah, okay. What about more than 8? Okay, I think that's the majority. Oh, that's good. Nice sleeping on a Saturday morning, that's good. Okay, so hopefully you're getting about 8 hours of sleep. That's a good, decent rest. If you like your sleep, if you put your hands up over more than 8 hours, you're probably a little bit like a koala. So koalas sleep 20 to 22 hours a day. So that means sometimes they're only awake for 2 hours. And do we think we can guess what they're doing in those 2 hours? Eating, yep. Exactly, eating gum leaves. That's right. They're very picky, aren't they? Yes. Yes, that's right, like this one is here. Okay, so let's talk about eating next. Now, I love my food. I love to eat. How many hours a day on a Saturday are you normally eating? Hands up if it's under 1 hour. Under 1 hour? Oh yeah, there's some. Okay. What about between 1 and 2 hours? Hands up if you're between 1 and 2. Yep, that's probably about average. Okay, what about more than 2? Excellent. If you love your food, you might be a little bit like, oh, I should probably say the average is a little bit less than 1.5 hours. So that's the average time that a human is eating per day. Both emus and kangaroos like to graze, so eat small bits, for about half their day, so 12 hours a day. But there is one really big difference in the behavior of emus and kangaroos. Do we know what that difference might be? It was mentioned this morning. Yes. That might be true. I don't know. That's not quite the answer I was looking for. Yes. Kangaroos are marsupials. That's right. So when is a kangaroo active? When is a kangaroo active? Yes, Lily?
In the daytime, and an emu's active mostly at night.
You want to switch those two around. So emus are active mostly during the day. So what's the word for that? Yes. Yes, that's right. So the word for that is nocturnal. What was the opposite of nocturnal? We heard it this morning. Yes. Diurnal. You're really close. So diurnal. All right. So sometimes, depending on the weather, kangaroos can be more active at sunrise and sunset. Do you remember what the word for that one was? That was a really long word. Started with a C. Yes. We did say it this morning. It's a really hard word. The word for it is crepuscular. So sometimes, depending on the weather, Kangaroos are crepuscular. They're up around dawn and around dusk as well. Okay. Next one. So if you're active for most of the day on Saturday, so this includes, I think I put G for grooming, W for walking, C for like doing chores or doing the shopping. So all of these activities count as being active. Okay, so hands up if you're active for less than 1 hour on a Saturday. Less than 1 hour, okay, well not many of those, good, good. Yeah, okay, what about between 1 and 2 hours? Who's active for between 1 and 2? Got one at the back, I've got one here as well. Okay, what about more than 2 hours? Who's active for more than? Excellent, okay, that's really good. So out of the 4 animals we mentioned before, wedge-tailed eagles are probably the more active of the 4. So they take to the air and are soaring for most of the day. So they usually leave their roost sort of late morning. If they need to, they'll hunt in the middle of the day, and then they'll go to their nests and roost at night, just like we do. Okay. So hands up if you're more like a koala. Did you like your sleep? More than 8 hours? Yeah, that's probably me too. What about the emu? Do you like your food? Do you eat it during the day? So the difference between the emu and the kangaroos, the emu eats it during the day, yeah? And if you like your midnight snacks maybe, more like a kangaroo, yeah? And if you're pretty active, awesome, okay. So we've got lots of really active people in this room, that's great. That is great. All right, so what we are going to do next is test your animal knowledge. So the name of this lecture was Animals Extreme, because we are going to go through some animal world record holders, and I'm going to see how many of you might know who they are. Okay, which animal eats the most in one day? Hands up if you think you know the answer. Ooh, okay. What do you think the answer might be? What was that? Hippo. Hippo's a good guess. Anyone else got a guess? Yes, in the black jacket. Elephants. Elephants are also a good guess. Let's take someone right at the back. Yep. Pandas. Pandas are a good guess. Oh, maybe I'll take one more guess in the blue. Yes. Yep, you with cat? Koala. Ooh. What do we know about koalas? How long are they active for? Only about 2 hours, so they probably don't get too much eating done in that time. But, all right, let's go through some of your guesses. So, on average, humans, us, we eat about 2.3 kilograms of food a day. So that's quite hard to picture, but it's actually the weight of 3 loaves of bread. So if you pick up 3 loaves of bread from the supermarket, that's about how much we eat in one day in terms of weight. Okay, then we go up to lions. Lions eat about 9 kilograms. Gorillas are about double that. Then we have pandas. So someone mentioned panda before. So what does a panda eat? Yeah, bamboo. So they eat about 38 kilograms of bamboo in one day. That's a lot. That's probably about the size of one of you guys, actually, 38 kilos. Okay, then we go up to rhinos. So the southern white rhinoceros is one of the biggest ones. So they eat about 80 kilos a day. We're still going. We haven't reached the top yet. Okay, elephants. I think someone mentioned elephants. African elephants are one of the biggest species of elephants. They eat about 200 kilos a day. And the winner is blue whales. So blue whales eat 3.6 tons or 3,600 kilograms of food every single day. So that's a lot of food. And hands up if your parents have a really big car, like a 4-wheel drive. Yeah? So 3,600 kilograms is about the weight of 2 quite big 4-wheel drive. So 2 Land Cruisers is about...
The weight of just about everyone in this room.
Ooh.
I've just done a bit of a calculation.
Yeah?
About that.
It's a good math there. So yeah, probably about the weight of everyone in this room. How about that? So yes, that is 1,500 times more than what we eat in one day. That's a lot of eating in one day. Okay, which animal do you think is the tallest or longest on our planet? Ooh, got lots of guesses here. Yep, in the pink jumper. Tallest would be the giraffe. That's a really good guess. Yeah, right at the back, yes.
Longest could be the black mamba in Africa.
Oh, so is that a type of snake? Yeah, okay, that's a really good guess. Okay, what we're gonna do is, I need the tallest person in the room. So stand up if you think you might be the tallest person here, out of the students that is. I was gonna say, aside from Dave, because he's really tall. Do we have hands up if you're really tall? Yeah, there we go. Oh, you're pretty similar. So come to the aisle. Let's see who's a little bit taller. You might be really similar. Oh, they're really similar in height, aren't they? Oh, you're probably about the same height. So we'll just probably get one of you, if that's all right, if you can come down. Yeah, thank you though.
Anything strange? I'm just touching your hair.
How tall is
there we
Xander? Ooh, ooh.
Xander, you are an incredible 169 centimetres.
169. Right, so if we make him the bottom mark on our list here, we go up then to 5 meters. So a giraffe is about 5 meters tall, can be up to. A whale was a good guess, but not quite. So 28, blue whales can be up to 28 meters long. Okay, now I know they're not alive anymore, but I was really curious. My mate Dave said, what about dinosaurs? And I was like, oh, let's look up the world's biggest dinosaurs. So scientists have found bones from this dinosaur they called Argentinosaurus. So anyone here a fan of the World Cup? Yep. So from their bones, they estimated that the Argentinosaurus is probably 37 meters long when it was alive. So that's pretty big. The tallest or longest animal in the world is called a bootlace worm. Now, I haven't come across one of these before, thankfully. They're pretty common on the coasts of England. They like living under rocks and in shallow pools of water. Now, 55 meters was about, I think, 32 times, 32 times taller than Xander. So imagine 32 of Xander stacked on top of one another. That's how long a bootlace worm is. So it's kind of disgusting, actually. So someone did guess a snake. A snake is a really, really good guess. The longest snake in the world in the Guinness Book of World Records is this one. Her name is Medusa. Hands up if you know what kind of snake this is. Ooh, that's a hard one. Yes. Anaconda, not quite right. Not quite right, yes. Oh, you're really close. So the guess was diamond python. This is, I think it maybe is the same thing. A reticulated python is the same thing. This is called a reticulated python. So this reticulated python was almost 8 meters long. So that's pretty long. Which animal can make the most noise? Oh, yes. A whale. Whale is a really good guess. Yes. Tasmanian devil. Oh, that's an interesting one. I don't think I've heard a call from a Tasmanian devil before. So that's a good guess. Yep.
My brother.
Your brother. You know what? Possibly. Yeah, maybe one more guess. Yes, Aaron. What was that? A kookaburra. Kookaburras are pretty loud too. Okay, so what we're going to do now, hands up if you think you're a pretty loud screamer. Yes, on the aisle there. Do you want to come down? I'm so sorry, I don't know what your name is, but yeah. Erica? Okay, what we're going to do is we are going to measure how loud Erica can scream. All right, so we have a pretty special machine. It's called a sound level meter. Now, does anyone know how sound is measured? So what's the unit measure for sound? That's a really hard question. Yes, at the back. Decibels, exactly right. So sound is measured in decibels, and we are going to measure how loud Erica can scream. So I'm going to put my earmuffs on. All right, get ready to block your ears. Erica is going to scream into this. Are we ready? Let's give her a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Oh, that was a very good scream. Round of applause for Erica. Okay, so it's probably a little bit hard to read from down there, but Erica's scream was about 100 decibels, so that's pretty loud. So the other thing I was going to test was how loud a balloon popping is. All right, so Dave, my trusty assistant, is going to pop this balloon. Are we ready?
Countdown again, please.
3, 2, 1. Oh, that was almost as loud. So that was 96 decibels. So you can scream, Erica, about as loud as a popping balloon. That's very impressive. Okay, so when we whisper, that's about 20 decibels. When we speak normally, that's about 60, so 3 times as loud. A wolf's howl is about 90. A lion's roar is just a little bit more than a wolf's howl at 114. Okay, so noises above 130 decibels will actually cause your ears damage. So the animals that are louder than this, if we could hear them, they would make it probably damage our hearing. So the blue whale's call is 188 decibels, but we haven't finished the end yet. Okay, hands up if you've heard of the tiger pistol shrimp. Wow, that's more than me 2 weeks ago. I did not know that this was the loudest animal on the planet. Okay, so if you can see this picture here, the tiger pistol shrimp is this one here, and the yellow fish is a goby fish. So tiger pistol shrimps are blind, so they usually partner up with a goby fish. Okay, so I've got a short video on how the tiger pistol shrimp makes its loud noise.
The pistol shrimp is no bigger than your finger, and it's a crack shot. One of its 2 claws functions just like a handgun. And other shrimp are targets. When prey is in range, the claw is cocked. The claw snaps shut so fast, it fires a bubble bullet up to 62 miles an hour. The bubble bursts and stuns the prey. It all happens in a fraction of a second. The fastest gun in the sea.
So the tiger pistol shrimp, one of its claws is kind of made like a gun, snaps really quick, blows an air bubble to kill other shrimp for dinner. And that's how, when those bubbles burst, that's how they make really loud noises. So thankfully, we can't hear them because A, they're in the sea, and B, because they're outside of our range of hearing. Which animal can hold its breath for the longest? Hands up if you got a guess. Yes.
Sea lion.
Oh, sea lion's a really good guess. Actually, I didn't even think of that. Yes? A whale. A whale is also a very good guess. What I'm going to do is hands up if you think you can hold your breath for a really long time. If you're a really good swimmer, yeah? Okay, so what I'm going to get you guys to do is I'm going to time how long you can hold your breath for. So what I want you guys to do is to hold your hand up, and then please take a breath when you need to. When you take your breath, I want you to hold it for as long as possible, and when you need to breathe out again, put your hand down. So we'll see who's the last person with their hand up, all right? Are we ready? So if you want to participate, chuck your hand up. All right, let's take a few deep breaths. Okay, are we ready? 3, 2, 1. All right, so when we called it quits, that was 1:16. I had to breathe at 30 seconds, so that was terrible. Okay, so this is probably us down the bottom. So 1:16 was the longest in the room. So a bottlenose dolphin can hold its breath for about 7 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. Okay, so the orca or the killer whale can hold its breath for about 20 minutes. We have the world record holder for free diving without any gas tanks. His name is Tom. He made the world record for 22 minutes for holding his breath in 2012. That's fairly epic. We go up to a blue whale, which I think someone might have guessed, so that was 35 minutes. So the winner is a Cuvier's beaked whale, which has recorded dives of 2 hours and 17 minutes. So that's pretty long, isn't it? So who guessed whale? I think it was, yeah. So if you want to come down and get a prize later, I'll give that to you. Oh, there we go. Last but not least, which animal do we think can make the most slime? This is a very hard question. Yes. Yep. Yes. A snail. A snail is a very good guess. Yes, at the front. Yep. A parrotfish. A parrotfish is a really good guess. That guess I did not think I was going to get. All right, let's find out. Believe it or not, I couldn't find any information on how much slime a snail produces in one day. I would really love to know this. And if you find out, my email address is on the ethergrams. Let me know. I would love to know. Okay, we also have, all right, so someone at the front, you guessed parrotfish. I'm going to get you to come down later on and get a prize too. So a parrotfish uses its slime to make its own cocoon to sleep in. So how cool is that? Believe it or not, humans make about 1 liter of slime every day. That's the same amount of milk that was in this milk carton when it was full. So that is disgusting, isn't it? So, anyone know why we make mucus? Yes. That's a really good one, yes. So the mucus lines our digestive tract. So anything that food gets in contact with produces mucus. Anything else? Yes, right at the front. To protect from diseases, exactly right. So the mucus in our airways protects us from really small pathogens that usually make us sick. Okay, so no one guessed the animal that makes the most slime. It is the hagfish. The hagfish is the kind of eel-shaped thing. It's kind of got teeth, really sharp teeth at the end. It makes enough slime to fill up this bucket in a matter of minutes. So probably 5 minutes or less, it would fill up this bucket with slime. So I've got one more short video to show you about why the hagfish might make slime.
We've set up a little baby pool here to demonstrate completely non-scientifically just how slimy these hagfish can get. It's freezing cold. So just by disturbing the hagfish a little bit like this, I'm not really squeezing, I'm just kind of putting my hands down on top of them, and any little disturbance gets these guys going. This is so weird. But there you go. Just by touching them, moving them so slightly, they've created this amount of slime right there. Along the side of its body, it's got these slime glands, these white glands right here. It squirts out this protein, mixes with the seawater, and then creates this big slimy mess. It's a defense mechanism. If a predator comes in, it grabs the hagfish like this, and it's trying to eat it. The hagfish swims out of the predator's mouth. The predator's left with this big, gnarly, snotty mess in its mouth.
That snotty mess can actually suffocate the attacker. The fish dies choking on slime.
To you and I, this is absolutely repulsive. But for the hagfish, this is the defense mechanism which has kept them alive for 500 million years. Hopefully they'll be doing it for millions of years more.
Okay, so the hagfish uses its slime as a defense mechanism. So if people try to pick them up, they slide right out of their hands. Or if a predator swallows one, they actually choke to death on the slime, which is kind of gross. So without scientists, we wouldn't have learned about all of these amazing abilities that these animals can do. So what amazing fact do you want to go home and research? If you have one and you find your answer, feel free to email me. The email address is on the ethogram. And if you do, email me with your name and your school, and you can get an extra stamp on your passport. All right? And that's it. So thank you guys for listening so well. I was very, very impressed.
Yeah, thank you. Let's give you